to Thunderclan, History and Beyond. Preview Episode 2, Packs and Kills, sadly. And Episode 245, Bye-Bye Blue Star. So, as you heard, we're going to, there's not going to be any interviews today, but we will do some later in the road. So our points of interest that we're going to be looking at are the last moons of Blue Star's life. Right? Sadly, we're going to say bye-bye Blue Star, and that's why I called it Bye-Bye Blue Star. Finally, we're going to talk about Swiftpaw's death and Brightpaw's injury, and the dog pack. We have no special segments, and we have no guests and no guest questions, and I don't have any extra notes. So, without any further ado, let's begin. By the way, our main rule for this period of timeline is Rising Storm and A Dangerous Path. Because if you remember last episode, if you aren't listening to the preview, if you're not listening to the part of the preview, but listening to the actual train of events, hence, you'll remember the fire. And our main source for the fire and the last moons of Blue Star's life are Rising Storm and A Dangerous Path. A Dangerous Path being the one we're about to use right now. But we also will quote Rising Storm because we actually need to. The last moons of Blue Star's life, when Blue Star became increasingly paranoid. And if you don't know if you're just a little kid and you don't know what paranoid means, it just means you're afraid of everyone and everything. It just means you have a phobia of people. Basically, since she was the clan leader, she thought everyone was a traitor except for Fireheart. But then when Fireheart told her about the prey stolen by the dog pack, whom we will definitely talk about later, she thought it was WindClan and started planning an attack against them, which she properly announced at the next gathering of June. So there's the June, July, August fire, and it was just at the beginning of September, the first full moon of September 2015. Yeah. But 2015, Fireheart is now 5 years old. It's only 5 more years until the great journey. And it's only 3 more months until we covered those eventful 5 years. Congratulations, guys. We're about to move back to the lake, people. But we will stop with the tribe of rushing water, what is so left, Half Moon, and the teller of the pointed stones. Finally, Blue Star thought that WindClan was coming over to Thunderclan territory and stealing all the prey. So she started an attack against them, which on September 7th, 2015, she announced to Tall Star and the rest of the WindClan that they were stealing prey. Of course they weren't, because the dog pack was stealing prey from them too. So Tall Star said that Thunderclan was stealing prey from WindClan because WindClan had lost prey and Blue Star was making false accusations to cover for her terrible deeds. Now both of them thought that each other was stealing the prey, but it was of course the dog pack stealing the prey and Tiger Star as well. Finally, but Fireheart knew, Spotty Leaf came into a dream to Fireheart and said there must not be a battle. Hold up, I can get the actual quotes here. But there was a chance. After that, things quickly deteriorated before the places. But then Yellowfang died of the fire, you recall. And Bluestar lost faith in Starclan. Spotted Leaf said, and so did Yellowfang. They said, look at this place. Fireheart found himself standing on the border with WindClan territory and looked across at the stretch of bare moorland. This is his dream, by the way. A stiff breeze rippled over the grass, blowing through his fur. The moor was bounded by an eerie light, hiding the horizon and the land behind him. He looked back, expecting to see 4 trees, though he could not remember traveling through the forest. But there was nothing there but the pale yellow glow. No cats were in sight. Spotted Leaf, he mewed uncertainly because, of course, she'll come in a dream. There was no reply, but he thought he caught a faint trace of the sweet scent that announced her presence. He stiffened, raising his head, and parted his jaw so that he could drink in this beloved smell. Spotted Leaf, please come. I need you so much. A sudden warmth crept over him. A soft voice murmured, I'm here, Fireheart. He sensed Spotted Leaf was somewhere behind him, and that if he turned his head, he could see her, but he could not move. It felt as if cold jaws were gripping him, keeping his gaze fixed on the wind-swept moorland. As he stood rigid, Fireheart gradually realized that Spotted Leaf wasn't alone. Another scent wafted over him, painful in its familiarity. Yellowfang? Is that you? He whispered. A faint breath stirred his pelt, and he thought he could hear Yellowfang's rusty purr. Oh, Yellowfang, I missed you so much. Are you okay? Have you seen how Cinderpelt is doing? The words spilled out of him in his joy at the reunion with his old friend. There was no reply, though Fireheart thought the purring grew stronger. Then Spotted Leaf's voice whispered softly in his ear, I brought you here for a reason, Fireheart. Look at this place. Remember it. This is a battle. This is where a battle will not be fought and blood will not be spilled. Then tell me how to stop it, Fireheart pleaded, knowing that she spoke of Bluestar's planned raid on the WindClan camp. But there was nothing more, only a gentle sigh. It faded and became one with the wind. Now just remember, this is Firestar's dream. So he just found out that he could not let this battle to happen. So he slipped over to Ravenpaw across WindClan territory and told Tallstar on his way back that he was prepared to make peace and that a battle shouldn't be fought between the 2 clans. Of course, Bluestar would never guess until Ravenpaw arrived and say that Tallstar wanted to talk peace and that he was the peace talker. Finally, they met on the moorland, talked peace, and each went back to their camps. Bluestar talked with Fireheart, and she guessed where the sudden peace talk had came from, and lost faith in him too. And literally said, Fireheart, how should I punish a traitor? How should I punish you, a traitor? How should I punish this clan? I know. I'll let you stay deputy, and then you'll become leader. A traitor to lead a clan of traitors. Of course, she lost faith in everyone and grew increasingly paranoid. And when Fireheart pleaded his heart out to Blue Star to say, can Cloudpaw, Brightpaw, Swiftpaw, and Thornpaw become warriors? Blue Star wouldn't let him. But then, surprisingly, he also asked Brackenfur to mentor Tawny Kit and himself to mentor Bramblekit. Bramblekit being the Bramble Star will know, and Brambleclaw and Bramble Star, the false one and the real one. Yeah, we will meet a bunch of Bramblekit down the road. Finally, next we have the last moon of Blue Star's life. She lost faith in StarClan. She allowed Cloudtail to become a warrior, but no one else. And then, when Fireheart asked to have the apprentices, one to him and one to Brackenfur, Sandstorm didn't forgive him. Not for a while. And Blue Star, well, since she knew everyone was traitors, she granted the apprenticeship to Cloudtail instead of Fireheart for Bramblepaw. But she did let Brackenfur mentor Tawnypaw, so there's something saying that Fireheart did tell the truth. Then comes the dog pack comes into this. And so begins our second point of this podcast. We'll continue the rest of Blue Star's life after we talk about Brightpaw and Swiftpaw, but we have to get through the dog pack to listen about that first. The dog pack was made also the year Firestar was born. It had only been 5 years, and it already had 5 leaders. 4 of them killed by the others in a coup, usurpation, and overthrow. Before we break this episode up, yes, I never saw it coming, but we ran out of time, people. We shall finish talking about the dog pack this time, but we will see Brightpaw and Swiftpaw gone. Swiftpaw dead, and Brightpaw becoming Lost Face, and Blue Star dead and gone. Before we go on to the next episode, though, we have to finish talking about the dog pack. The dog pack was made the same year Firestar was born. Usurpation, overthrow, blah, blah, blah. Where were we? Oh, yes. But they were taken by men. They were watchdogs, as we would call them, inside the kennel that moves. A car, basically. A car with a bunch of cages. Finally, the place had fallen. The pack was strong. They craved warm blood and the terror scent of prey before it died. They could run and kill, but instead, they had to be penned up, eat the food the man threw to them, and obeyed the man's orders. He shouted, "Out! Pack out! Out now!" The rest of the pack out! Pack run! As if in answer, the doors of the car flung open, and the pack leader could see the man barking an order. He jumped down close to a pile of logs. The pack rested and they followed to the fence. They would be strong. They would be free out in the prey-filled forest. Remember, this is the forest with all the clans in it, and this is right now Tree Cut Place. And they could smell their enemy and their prey. Cats. Knew there would be a hole. And they had to find it. And dug out and went into the forest, thinking about prey. And the hole grew deeper, and they went out, shouting, "Run, pack free, run now!" Turning toward the trees, they bounded away. thinking, pack run. And the whole of the Thunderclan territory was theirs. And in their minds, there was a single instinct. Kill, kill.